Hey everyone, Retire on Dividends here, back to make another weekly update to my options trading journey. So real quick though, I did make kind of a midweek update earlier in the week because I did make some drastic moves to my account and I did close out a lot of positions and I took a hit on a lot of positions and several reasons, but obviously you could see in the picture here I added tax, right? I want to relieve some of the tax burden at the end of the year. So, in one thought, yeah, I was kind of a bag holder, and I made a lot of stupid moves, and I was going to see it through, but I had an opportunity. I said, you know what? I never thought of like tax loss harvesting, but it came up, and I was like, you know what? I'm not actually prepared for this year's tax bill because I did make more than I had planned. So I said, let me close out these positions that I'm kind of underwater on and essentially reduce my tax bill in the process. So that's why I decided to do that. That's basically the summary of this video. But if you want to watch it in a little more detail, because I'm not going to get into the detail in this video, but if you wanted to see it, I will pin that video to the top of the comments to this video, okay? All right, so now let's get to the spreadsheet. All right, so first, here is my options watch list. And I just want to show you guys, I'm kind of changing things up a little, all right? As you know, I'm an options degenerate. What does that mean? That means I've been trading like a maniac, basically, aggressively in the money, many, high IV stocks, this, that, the other thing. One thing I'm not going to change is I'm not going to stop trading high volatility stocks because that's where the money is. So, that part I'm sticking around with. However, I am going to, think twice. For example, and I do add Misty to this list because Misty, it's not a buy and hold in this account. It is an options play. So what I had happened recently before I had sold everything is I had sold calls on Misty, MSTU, and then I did Mara. And I had so much crypto exposure and crypto tanked that I put myself in a situation where it kind of, basically had me as a bag holder, which would limit my potential income. And it was an uncomfortable spot and a spot I don't want to really be put in. It would be okay if it was various, sectors or various, things that move differently, but Mara, MSTU, and MSTY, they move in the same direction. So I ended up cutting ties with Mara, cutting ties with MSTU. I did keep Misty in the portfolio, and the reason is I don't care if I'm bag holding Misty, and the reason is they pay a massive distribution. So guess what? I don't care. I'll keep Misty in the account as long as I can. So I did cut ties with Mara. I did cut ties with MSTU and also Soxel. All right. So those I'm free and clear. I do currently have a trade with Misty. Not a trade. I did get assigned with Misty. Did I keep it on here? Yeah. Okay. So I did get assigned 100 shares originally at 33. So I can't touch it though because of the the wash sale rule. If you sell any of the stocks that you took a loss on at the end of the year, if you sell them within, or if you buy back in or do something with a similar stock, and a similar stock is Misty because it's the same as MSTU basically, it's the same underlying, then they could get me for the wash sale rule. So I'm not going to sell calls on this, even if MSTY recovers. And I'm also not going to sell puts. I'm just going to leave it alone, and I'm not going to touch anything. So that's the plan, at least with that. Also, in the meantime, who am I going to trade? In blue, these are the ones I'm going to trade. Obviously, Misty's in blue, but I'm not going to trade it until the 30-day wash rule. I'm going to trade tsll, Soxel, and TNA. I'm also going to trade TQQQ and UPRO when there's an opportunity. I know I can't afford them 10 contract rule, but I'm going to change things up. I'm going to read some charts this year. And even if I can make them a 5 contract rule because they're an index, maybe I will. Maybe I'll bend the rules a little bit, bend my own rules. But again, we'll see. It's a new year, new strategy. not new strategy, but new rules. All right. I also made a little chart here. What is my goal? What should I do to make sure I'm safe? Right now, I made it simple. Again, I'm gonna keep changing this, but I figured a good rule is to hold 30% of my account in high yield ETFs, 45% for options, and then leave 25% in cash. So that's a strategy, I guess, a guideline I'm going to go by. Again, how is that? You guys tell me. Is that good? Does that sound right? And then I'll go from there. Right now, what am I holding though? Right now, I'm 35.8% on high yield ETFs. I'm 0% options, which we'll get into in a second. And I'm 64% in cash. All right. 63,000 is my current balance. So I'll try to update this every video as well going forward. All right, now since I'm in the freezing cold garage, let me speed this up. I did 3 trades this week. Again, this started the new year. Anything up to 12/31, see the other video, okay? But the first trading day of the year, I sold 3 puts. Why? Because the market freaking tanked. So TSLL was tanking. I sold a put at 22.70. Again, they have these funky freaking strike prices because of the distribution. It's annoying. I know it is, but whatever. At the time, it was 11.43% out of the money, which is very conservative, for me. And it paid about 55 cents. And then I sold another put because it kept tanking. Obviously, you see it went from 25.63 when I sold the other one to 23.71. So I sold another put at 20.70, and I got 46 cents for that. And then, guys, the next day, the market recovered massively. So I actually closed these positions out the next day. You see I paid 23 cents and 17 cents, and I ended up keeping 58% premium on one and 63% on the other. And I got the fronted amount back, which is in total 4,270. And you see what that annualized yield comes to. It's massive. TNA, same exact kind of thing, right? So for that, TNA was at 41.28. I am comfortable at 42 with TNA, as most of you know. But I sold at 40. I didn't go crazy, although I probably should have sold at 42. The amount of freaking recovered. But anyway, I sold a $40 put, 3.1% out of the money. It paid $1.10 or $110. And the next day it skyrocketed. So you said, you know what? I'm going to close this for 46 cents, keep 58% of the total profit, the total premium, which is $64, and I got my $4,000 collateral back. So essentially, I put up $4,000 for one day, and I got paid $64. That's an annualized yield of 403%. So it was a no-brainer. So yeah, that's why I have no options open. I would have had options open had the market not freaking skyrocket yesterday. Again, I'm trying to be a little more, I don't know, strategic. I'm trying to make more, better decisions this year to not put myself in a bag holding position. And, bear with me along the way. It's going to be I'm learning every day too. By the way, Soxel did pay me a dividend in December. It paid me $46.10 in total, which is pretty awesome. Here's my tax loss harvesting. But again, check out the other video. In the end, I hopefully reduce my tax bill, because now I'm told there's a 30-day buy rule or something, which to me is so stupid. Like if I bought MSTU 30 days before I sold it for the tax loss harvesting, they won't count it. But why would I buy something and then know it's going to go down? How does that even make sense? But whatever. I'm going to see. I'm learning. I'm doing this. I don't know if it's going to work, but hopefully my tax bill gets reduced by $6,628, which is a $1,900 savings on the tax bill. All right. Again, I'm not going to get into that any more than I did, because that's for the other video. All right, fresh new year, January month-to-date income, obviously just $125, which you saw. All right. Now, as far as the other tabs, again, TSLL, I got no puts. TNA, I got no puts. Soxel, I got nothing. Misty, I have the 100 shares at 33, but I'm not touching that. And MSTU, I can't touch either because of the watch sale rule. But we will talk about December month-to-date income. I did make $237 on Mara, $529 on MSTU, $215 on Misty, $1,856 on Soxel, and $67 on TSLL, which is $2,904 in total for the month of December, which $1,122 of that was selling calls, and $1,782 was selling puts. All right. Here's the recap for the year. Obviously, you see that massive reduction, 6,560. Essentially, it's half of the premium I did make for the year. Does it hurt? Not really, because again, I'm more worried about the tax bill, to be honest, at this point, because I didn't set myself up for it. So, and I had that loss on my portfolio anyway, right? It was paper loss, and I know the market recovered, but I don't care. Hopefully, that does reduce my taxable income, and hopefully it works out. All right, 2025 income. So for this week, I did make $125, as you saw. The capital I needed for that was $8,340. So that yield for the week is 1.5%. Obviously, it looks a little more conservative than usual. And that's because I did play a little conservative. I'm going to abuse the crap out of TNA. TNA is my new option stock of 2025, unless it's overpriced, of course. All right, now here's the hypothetical. I know I'm rushing through the video, but I wanted to get this out early, and I'm freezing in the garage at the moment. But the rate of return is, my average rate of return on all my options trades is 245%. If I wanted to make $225,000 a year and I used all of my capital to trade, I would only need $91,000. I know that's a hypothetical and it's not really possible. But I am currently, based on my latest Retire Now video, if you haven't seen it, go check it out. My actual rate of return on an annualized basis based on December income is 75%. So if I use that rate of return, I would need approximately $299,282 to produce an income of $225,000. Again, why am I saying $225,000? Because that's really the number I think I could retire on. Is it enough? I don't know. But again, this is just one source of income. I do have other other sources, but such as the dividend car account and YouTube. But between the three, we'll see. I'll make a video on that too, because I feel like I'm getting closer to making the same, if not more, than my current job. But there's other expenses such as health insurance, which is a benefit of working for a large company. You get it cheaper. Obviously, other benefits such as 401k match. You have to consider that. You have to consider all these things before you even consider leaving a job and living off dividends and living off YouTube and things like that. But anyway, that's for another time. But I'm gonna end it here. But hopefully, again, it was short and sweet. But hopefully, you guys, stick around for the journey for 2025. I think it's going to be a little less degenerative, if that's a word, right? A little more conservative, I think. But again, the strategy is the same. I do have my mortgage now coming out of my Retire Now account, which is where these options, come out of. So I need to at least produce an options income of $1,300. However, my goal is much higher than that. So I do still plan to make, well over $1,300, which would be enough to cover my mortgage. And then obviously anything on top of that would still get reinvested in the account. All right. So stay tuned for all that, and stay tuned for many, many options videos this year. I just want to say thanks for hanging with me. Thanks for watching all my videos last year. It was, a good journey. And this year will be even better. Again, we learn from our mistakes. We learn from, we learn from everything. We learn from every single thing that we do. As long as we keep at it. Everything is a learning experience. So I have no regrets for this year. But as always, this is not financial advice. This is definitely not tax advice. This video is for fun and entertainment. So hopefully you had fun. Hopefully you're entertained. If not, we'll try again next week. Outside of that, I got nothing. But if you enjoy this content, please hit the like button. And as always, if you have any questions or concerns, leave them down in the comments below. All right. So we'll talk next week. We'll see how I don't think we have a full week. Actually, I think the market's closed one day. But we'll have about 4 days. That's still, a decent amount to make some options money. And then we will talk after that. We'll see how we do. All right. hang in there, guys. I'm hoping for a red Monday since I have all cash now. I know some of you may not be, but, cheers to a red Monday. Anyway, I'm out of here. Later.